Oh, I hope I updated that already. Oops. Okay, I did. Okay, we're good. Gonna turn this down a bit more on my end. Or maybe, hang on. What if I turn you up and then just take the dial on here and move that down a bit. Alright. A 100 years without murder, 100 years without demonic possession. Then this. I am Sister Ada, exorcist and investigator. This is my testament to the massacre at St. Walpurgis Abbey. It is truth. Do not believe the lies of my accusers. Cybernetics Workshop.
Sister Ada, welcome.
Oh, I probably got that voice completely wrong.
I am Virgil, Chief Inquisitor at St. Walpurgis Abbey. We may be in need of your talents as an exorcist. You can survey the evidence yourself, but I think you will agree.
Has there truly been a murder?
I got that completely wrong.
It seems so. A respected priestess, Mother Miriam, passed this morning under suspicious circumstances. A demon may be present. Here, even now. Possessing someone.
Possessing you.
What happened exactly?
What happened exactly? Okay. Okay, keep that kind of voice in my head. Not sure if I'll be able to mimic that good for moments when, like, there's no voice acting, but I'll try and keep it in my head.
Mother Miriam was only recently appointed as successor to Abbot Gregory. This morning, she came to the workshop to receive her coronet of office.
Mm-hmm.
Something went wrong with the installation.
Yes, to put it mildly, the coronet oversurged, killing Mother Miriam. Brace yourself for the sight.
Then, the workshop operators, Gideon and Reuben, are the prime suspects. They are brothers, right?
Yes, but it's highly out of character for Gideon or Reuben to kill someone. Even so, they were the only ones present when Mother Miriam died.
Alright, already guessing the twist of this, given that it's more of a, I guess, like a religious cyberpunk type of deal. What I'm guessing is that whoever killed Mother Miriam was not actually present at the scene of the crime, since it wouldn't really be too difficult to oversurge some equipment, especially if it's something that needs to be made within certain specifications to not accidentally blow someone's head off. So
Daemons nurture our sinful desires into unthinkable actions, Virgil. One of the brothers has surely been seduced by a daemon.
okay, bit of a weird tangent, but I always love it whenever a show or a movie tries to do like old-timey stuff and like refer to demons as daemons. Like, I love that. That needs to happen more often.
Whichever it is, I will unmask his lies and cast out the daemon within him.
Like, you see what I mean? It sounds cool.
May Einsoff's will be done. Amen.
To exorcise a daemon, we must uncover 4 things. First, the suspect. We must identify which sinner is possessed by a daemon. Second, the opportunity. When exactly was the murder committed? We can pinpoint the opportunity by analyzing each suspect's testimonies. Third, the means by which the murder has been committed. The means can be found among the physical evidence at the scene of the incident. Fourth, the motive of the murderer, which can be found in their inner world, their sanctum. The motive will tell us which daemon possesses the sinner.
Very well. Let us begin our holy work.
Ooh. Newly appointed voice of Einsof, who is scheduled to receive an Aether Coronet implant at the workshop. Okay. Gideon's workstation. Can I cannot WASD. This is full point and click. Okay. Mother Miriam's body. A valuable piece of physical evidence. A new entry is now added to your evidence panel, which can be found... Okay. Tutorial stuff. Alright. Present them to the suspects in order to discover any contradictions. The body's completely unharmed, but her head has exploded into a mess of blood and bone fragments. Found near Mother Miriam's body, parts of the amplifier component and bits of the casing have survived the explosion. Okay. So the amplifier and the casing itself survived, while everything else completely exploded, which would definitely suggest foul play using the amplifier itself. Not to be silly and like bring in like Shadowrun type of words into this, or they probably don't fit at all, but actually, yeah, no, I won't. I will not. Piece of evidence. Let's examine it now. Used to activate and control the consecration chamber. Usage records show that the Aether output during the ceremony was well beyond safe ranges. Okay. So way too much Aether put in, which the amplifier then went crazy with and killed Mother Miriam. Alright. Used to open and close the consecration chamber, only operable from outside the chamber. Usage records show that it was opened twice this morning. Which, in best case scenario for these two, means that one of them opened it right after the incident happened. Which, you know, could have been done innocently, not thinking about tampering with evidence. Worst case, though, is that it was tampering with evidence in an attempt to hide what happened. Coronet limiter. Found in Gideon's workspace in pristine condition, component is required to safely install the coronet without causing an Aether oversurge. Okay, according to this one right here, parts of the amplifier component and bits of the casing have survived the explosion, which, although the explosion probably most likely actually, like, obviously killed Miriam, there is a chance that the explosion actually did not destroy the coronet itself. The door was open the second time, someone went in, and they destroyed the coronet to make it look like it exploded, and that the limiter was destroyed in the process, when in fact the limiter was never put in. Alright, workstation 1. Place the coronet and the recipient in the chamber. 2. The performer and the recipient pray in silence. 3. Begin the song to start modulating the Aether. 4. Intensify the Aether output by bringing the performance to a crescendo. Okay. Probably a bit more physical evidence to find. Ruben's workspace. Coronet blueprints and spear blueprints. Plans for restoring a relic that was recently brought to Saint Walpurgis by Father Augustine. Plans for constructing the Aether Coronet. The purpose of the device seems to be to amplify the user's Aether output. The components are amplifier, casing, and limiter. Alright. So in best case, it's seeming like... Okay, yeah. Best case, Gideon went in there and took out the limiter, like, just trying to, I guess, take whatever parts are still left, assuming that it's expensive to have a limiter and it's expensive to make the parts for it. But realistically speaking, that was taken out specifically to make it look like the limiter exploded. I don't have any evidence stacked against you, but I do want to check.
An exorcist? Surely there are no demons here, though. This was an accident, wasn't it? If Gideon is possessed, that would mean he did it on purpose. Horrible.
You must be the elder brother.
Yes, my name is Ruben Garamond. I am responsible for the engineering and design of our implants.
How did Mother Miriam die, exactly?
It was a completely preventable accident. Mother Miriam died because Gideon deliberately flouted the ceremonial guidelines for his own glory. Gideon may be my flesh and blood, but he must take responsibility for his negligence.
Okay, so you're immediately throwing him under the switch. You know, assuming that this is a more autocratic world, then that might make complete sense. Testimony of a subject is divided into events. Detailed descriptions of events by hovering over them. Timeline marker, okay.
Mother Miriam came to us to receive a consecration ceremony, but she wanted something extravagant. Gideon suggested setting the coronet to have maximum ether output. I warned him that doing so is highly dangerous. Gideon convinced her to move forward with the ceremony anyway. Since he was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Okay. That's the first opening, and then that's the second. So how did it open from out there? I mean, from within there. Because he isn't close enough. Interesting.
When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt something was wrong. I begged Gideon to stop, but he didn't listen.
Okay, that's your version of what happened.
This is madness! I will not suffer this injustice!
Okay.
I am Gideon the Grand, the greatest cybernetician of our generation. I am blessed. I don't know what went wrong this morning. My hands are guided by the divine.
I see only gaudy trinkets here. Mother Miriam died by your hands. Is that not so?
Her kindness and generosity, she truly was like a mother to me, and I her son. I did nothing wrong. The consecration chamber must have been compromised. Okay.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident. To prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Reuben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber. Meanwhile, I adjusted the coronet's amplifier. To prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Reuben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber. Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
Oh, yeah, that actually is an interesting wrinkle there. Are you alone in greeting Mother Miriam? Okay, he insists that he was alone. I wonder if Reuben will corroborate this. Showing the rest of his testimony.
To prepare. Meanwhile, I adjusted the coronet's amplification at my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
Okay, that first time must have been a test run trying to make sure the amplifier was working. Which means that at some point between this and
We
during the
began by
prayer...
closing our eyes and praying together to Ein Sof. I thought I heard the chamber open, but didn't think much of it.
Okay. So that would mean the limiter was put on Gideon's table specifically to implicate him.
Then I activated the consecration chamber and began the ceremony itself. The aether output was within safe ranges.
There's only one truth to the chain of events this morning, and I doubt that either brother has told it to us. So we must rely on Ein Sof's greatest gift to us, our minds. 3 ways we should consider what we've discovered. Deduction, since there can only be one truth if 2 things don't align, one or both of them are false. If Gideon and Reuben do not agree on something, someone is lying. Or if what they say does not match the evidence I find, then they must be lying. Induction. I should base my theory on what I discover. If my theory does not align with any of the testimonies or evidence that I find, then I should discard it. Your brother crafts the casing and ornaments of implants and handles the ceremonial aspects of the installation. Less popular than Gideon due to his dour, cynical demeanor and his focus on the engineering of the implants. Okay. Even in pieces, you could see the sublime beauty of my artistry. But this can't be all you found. Where's the limiter? Limiter? There was a safety device. The Aether limiter was supposed to protect the coronet from an oversurge. Additionally, it was the crown jewel of the coronet. I suppose it's shattered. Damnation. No, it isn't. Recognize this component, Gideon. It was found at your workstation. The coronet limiter? Impossible, but the explosion, how could it be undamaged? Someone must have removed it from the coronet prior to the ceremony. All but ensuring that the ceremony would end in a bloody mess. I had nothing to do with this. Why would I sabotage my own work? Okay.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
Okay. This version of the story.
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coronet's amplification.
Okay.
We
Gideon claims that the Aether output values are within safe ranges, but alright. You lied, Gideon. The ceremony wasn't safe. The control panel's records show that the Aether output values were in abnormally high ranges. Of course it was. Mother Miriam wanted the coronet to be as powerful as it could be. But I am Gideon the Grand. With my talents, I had it under control. I made no errors. Something else went wrong. I just don't know what. Statement from Gideon's testimony is now verified for two reasons. One, specificity. As a shorter time frame, it describes a clearer set of events. Two, physicality. Gideon's testimony now is consistent with the records from the control panel. I can assume that any verified statement like this is true. I'm guessing with like second and third, or like however many more cases there are, that's not going to be a given, so I'm gonna have to write that down myself. What's more, the contradiction weakened the suspect's resolve. His eye of providence glows, which allows me to enter his sanctum, the digital representation of his mind. Oh. Narcissist. Is there any more to find? Okay, that's just his hour later. This information will help me discern which statements to trust. The suspect's behavior and existing demons. Lucifer the Proud, the Prince of Demons and the eternal adversary of Ein Sof, manifests in the ambitious and strong-willed, promising their heart's desire in exchange for their soul. Sathanas, Lotan. Okay, if we are thinking Gideon's the one who did it, he would most likely either have fallen to Lotan or Lucifer by the looks of it. To obtain further psychological evidence, accuse. To accuse the suspect, I must establish the opportunity, means, and motive of the crime. I can try as many times as I wish, but there is only one true answer for each section. The opportunity, a valid answer, the suspect will be forced to admit that they have committed the murder at that time. You're the last person to handle the coronet. If the coronet was damaged during the events of this morning... Okay, establishing means... A coronet limiter on his desk. Same as before, the suspect will accept my evidence if it is valid, and deny it if they can explain why I'm wrong. By what means are you claiming that I killed her? While you were adjusting the coronet, you removed the limiter. That's nonsense. Do you think I would forget to replace the crown jewel of my masterpiece? And then motive. Which, in this case, that motive would actually mean that he would not do this. At the very least, this outer motive that we have right now. Given that, well, being a narcissist, it'd look really bad on him if he completely fucked up this ritual, you know? Sorry that I'm kind of blazing through, and I know I said I'd read some of this, but like... Honestly, I don't have a good reason. I am sorry. Yep. I do not need this tutorial. I get it now. I get it. Okay.
But Gideon suggested setting the coronet to have maximum ether output. I warned him that doing so is highly dangerous. Mother Miriam came to Gideon.
Gideon didn't mention me being there. Typical.
Gideon convinced her to move forward with the ceremony anyway. Since he was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
What does Gideon say? Switch back to
prepare for the
this. Yep. Alright.
Gideon convinced her to move forward with the ceremony anyway.
Contradict, present. Ruben Garamond, you did not return to your workstation after the discussion. Gideon ordered you to open the consecration chamber for Mother Miriam. Ordered me? Is that what he told you? Despite his delusions, Gideon is certainly not my master. I did open the chamber. It's true. I apologize for the omission. It's a regular part of our routine that had slipped my mind earlier. Okay, open chamber. They decided to perform the ceremony anyways. I opened the consecration chamber while Gideon brought the coronet. Yep. Corroboration and specificity.
They decided to perform the ceremony anyway. I opened the consecration chamber, while Gideon brought the coronet. Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Okay. Now then, what is your motive? Believer. Found in Ruben's sanctum, faithful servant of Ein Sof, or so he thinks. He knows that cybernetics are a critical part of the one truth. Okay, so given that piece of evidence, he also wouldn't be the one to do this. swap over back to... Okay. Gideon thought he heard something during his prayer. That doesn't mean anything. He could have imagined it. Oh no, you fucking don't. You test my patience, Reuben. Has your memory slipped once more? The door records show that the consecration chamber was opened twice today. Given that Gideon was praying during this time, only you could have opened the chamber. It's true that I opened the chamber again, just before the ceremony started. But I had my reasons. Something about the chamber seemed unseemly. Given what happened to Mother Miriam, I feel vindicated in my fears. Tell me what you did in the chamber. Okay, so let's just... There's enough different. Let's just run through the testimony.
Mother Miriam came to us to receive a consecration ceremony, but she wanted something extravagant. Gideon suggested setting the coronet to have maximum ether output. I warned him that doing so is highly dangerous. They decided to perform the ceremony anyway. I opened the consecration chamber, while Gideon brought the coronet. Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Then about here. You gonna say it? No?
So I opened the consecration chamber to verify that the coronet was in working order.
That would have been your opportunity.
Everything seemed fine, so I returned to my desk again.
Alright, let's get that second bit of your mind opened up. Envy, okay. So we have motive and we have opportunity. But I do want to get another look through with Gideon, just to see.
Then I rose up, opened my eyes, and approached the control panel. I was ready to begin. The aether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber under control.
Why does Gideon get the credit for all of Reuben's hard work? If only Gideon could be exposed for the fraud that he is. Okay, that's interesting.
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coronet's amplification at my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
Stop over
Since
to
Gideon
Reuben.
was going to handle everything,
Unfortunately, I was occupied at the time and did not see exactly what Gideon did. Okay.
So I opened the consecration chamber to verify that the coronet was in working order.
This might not do anything, but just to see. Yeah, no, not following the logic. Got it. Okay. So I'm gonna return over here, go to
We
Gideon.
began by closing our... Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
Performed this many times before. I will not use that against him. That feels rude. People will be forgetful. Okay.
Mother
Ruben.
Miriam,
And then I
Gideon's
ask him.
Mother Miriam came to us to receive a consecration ceremony, but she wanted something extravagant.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
Okay. So maybe a stretch, but I am wondering if I could contradict this by mentioning... No, it has to be physical evidence. Right, right. Uh... let's see. Coronet. I had the chamber under control. Which maybe...
The aether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber under control.
Okay, okay. So maybe I bring up the limiter here again. Oh. Okay. Well, in that case, for now, I can lobby an accusation at Ruben.
When Gideon activated the
Your opportunity was when you checked the chamber. During the prayer, you claimed to have opened the chamber to check the materials. This was when you sabotaged the ceremony. Gideon was the one that operated the device. How could I have affected the chamber of Mother Miriam? There was nothing faulty with the coronet itself. Indeed, the craftsmanship was flawless, as was Gideon's performance of the ceremony. But you removed the limiter from the coronet without Gideon's knowledge, which, coupled with the coronet's high amplification, caused an oversurge. Gideon's arrogance may have endangered Mother Miriam, but you ensured that she would die from it. Mother Miriam was our patron. Why would I want to harm her? Envy. Mother Miriam's death was merely a means to an end. Humiliation of Gideon. You envy your brother's success. You want his fame, his glory.
Ein Sof sees all, Reuben. You killed Mother Miriam to frame Gideon and take him down a peg. With Gideon gone, a daemon whispered that people would finally recognize you for your genius.
I am older than Gideon. My work is better than Gideon, and more important. But no one sees my work. No one understands my work.
Confess, Reuben. Tell us what the daemon made you do.
Oh.
Gideon was Mother Miriam's favorite. She barely knew I existed. When Gideon suggested increasing the ether output of the coronet, I had an idea. I would sabotage the ceremony by removing the limiter. Mother Miriam had no idea what was about to happen to her. I went back to my workstation, waiting for Gideon to close his eyes. While Gideon and Mother Miriam were praying, I reopened the chamber and removed the limiter. When Gideon started the ceremony, I placed the limiter on his table so that it would look as though his negligence led to Mother Miriam's death.
That's how I would have gotten that second piece of thing from Gideon.
When the oversearch began, I goaded Gideon on by telling him to stop the ceremony. Of course he didn't listen. And so Mother Miriam died. I killed her. I regret only that I've been discovered.
Let me get that third piece of evidence from his mind eye. Yep.
Demonic corruption runs deep within Reuben's soul. Yet Reuben may still be saved. I must speak the daemon's true name. Then the daemon will be cast out. Ain Suf, guide me. What daemon has possessed Reuben?
Pride. No, not Lotan. No, it would be Lotan, wouldn't it?
Out, Lotan! Leave this soul and return whence you came!
Magnificently done, Madam Exorcist.
The power of Ain Suf compels you, Lotan. Leave this soul and return to the ether!
Thousands of years, and you humans never change. Never satisfied, always comparing, wanting more. Someone else is always richer, prettier, wiser, better. Nothing can ever fill that void within you. Not even me.
Silence, Lotan. Reuben may yet be redeemed. You are a scourge. Without your influence, a good woman would still be alive. Leave humans be, Lotan. I banish you to the ether!
As you wish, but I'll return soon enough. My prince and master Lucifer walks among you. Lucifer will open the gates of hell, and at last, humanity will remember its full potential. Until then, Madam Exorcist, adieu.
Come forth, Reuben. What remains of you?
Thank.
He's silent and still. Poor soul. Rest, Reuben. Heal, if you can.
Sister Ada, you've returned. Was there a demon at work after all?
I'm afraid so. The exorcism was a success. Reuben's soul has been purged. Unfortunately, the daemon was difficult to cleanse. Reuben is returned to pure innocence.
What? The exorcism shattered his mind? Can you bring him back?
It's out of my hands. If Ain Suf wills it, maybe Reuben will heal.
Guards, please escort this shell to the cryostasis cellar. I pray for his swift recovery. Abbot Gregory!
Praise be to Ain Suf, Sister Ada. You have saved us all. On behalf of everyone at St. Walburga's, I express our utmost gratitude.
We are not yet safe. We must act quickly until we locate the source of the demonic influence. We don't understand yet why demons would act after 100 years. Holy Father, we must quarantine the abbey and the surrounding town immediately. Detain and interrogate anyone who seems suspicious.
We can try, Sister Ada, but it will be difficult, as we have visitors arriving hourly. Much like yourself, pilgrims from afar are here to celebrate Walpurgisnacht. It's such a shame Mother Miriam couldn't bear witness to it.
Ah, yes, the priestess. We must destroy her body immediately. Traces of demonic influence may remain from her contact with Reuben.
No, Sister Ada, thank you for your concern, but we absolutely cannot. Mother Miriam was a prominent figure and well-loved, with decades of service. We must treat her body with dignity and give her a proper burial. Send Mother Miriam's body to the mortuary for embalming.
Your Excellency, we really ought to take the advice of the exorcist.
Mother Miriam's body has been desecrated enough, Virgil. Send her to the mortuary, now.
As you command, Your Excellency.
Holy Father, you are making a grave mistake.
Sister Ada, don't worry yourself. All will be well. Saint Walpurga's triumph over Lucifer has brought us a century of peace and bliss. It's horrifying that a demon was exorcised from our abbey, but surely it was the final remnant.
The daemon within Reuben spoke of Lucifer's return. Lucifer's ways are insidious. Even the most devout among us have temptations.
It's a shame Brother Reuben fell to the demon. But the rest of my flock is stronger. Faith shall be their shield. Now, please excuse me. This evening's mass requires my attention. We are honored by your presence, Sister Ada. Praise be to Ein Sof.
Even the Holy Father can be foolish then. Ein Sof. Let it not be true that Lucifer walks. But if it is, Ein Sof, guide me, that I may unmask all lies, no matter how painful.
The daemon's final words haunted me. Lucifer was already among us. I wanted to destroy Mother Miriam's body to purge any traces of the demonic influence. Abbot Gregory did not heed my words. Mother Miriam was to be given a proper burial. That afternoon, Inquisitor Virgil sent for me, asking urgently to meet him at the graveyard. Okay.
Praise Ein Sof. Thank you for coming to our aid so quickly, Sister Ada.
You said it was urgent. Has something happened to Mother Miriam's body?
No, in some ways, that would have been easier. There is now a second untimely death.
Okay, it's either Virgil or the priest himself at this point, because, like, 2 untimely deaths within, like, it's like nighttime now, was probably either morning or sundown at the last scene. With the top down, I couldn't really see what time it was, but, like, at most, that's a difference of a few hours. And at least, a difference of less than maybe 3 hours. Like, foul play's happening. And it's definitely involving one of them.
Another murder. On the very same day. This can't be a coincidence.
That isn't for me to say, but this time, the victim is a younger acolyte named Isaac. His remains were found in the grave that was dug for Mother Miriam. Poor kid's throat was slit.
Gruesome. Who was at the graveyard when the body was found?
Only 3 people were present this afternoon. A scholar, an embalmer, and a grave tender. Father Augustine is a scholar, visiting for Mother Miriam's funeral. The victim was his apprentice. Sister Nerissa, an embalmer with a sterling reputation, preparing Mother Miriam's body for burial. Finally, Abraham, the grave tender, a layman who has kept the grounds of the abbey for many years. None of them say they were near the grave until after the body was discovered.
Which means someone is lying. No matter. Ein Sof sees all. We will unmask their lies and bring the truth forward. I swear it.
Okay. Okay, I'm thinking this time, get everybody's testimony and then start finding the evidence that tears it all down.
You must be Father Augustine. The victim was your apprentice, correct?
Correct. And you are Sister Ada, the exorcist. It is a unique pleasure.
I know it's meant to assume, but like, that is the most generically evil vampire voice someone could ever have. Hang on. I think, yep. I am going to get in a call, so this is going to have to continue later.